Hi, and welcome to this edition of Issaquah Buzz, where we talk about all things business in Issaquah, from retail gossip to new restaurants. My name is Monahan, and I work with the city's communications team. And I'm so excited to welcome today Alexis Fitzsimmons, our new economic development manager. Welcome to the city.
Thanks, Autumn.
So before we get to gossip and also kind of the feature of this podcast or this edition, which is Salmon Days, just love to hear a bit about you and your experience in economic development.
Sure. So I recently moved here to Washington from Ohio. So it was a nice long trip across the country. I've worked in economic development for about 17 years and in places all around Ohio at different levels of government and the public and private sector. The basics of economic development are business attraction, retention, and workforce development, and just making sure that we're moving the ball forward when it comes to the growth and prosperity of a community. And that's what I hope to do here in Issaquah.
I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for diving right into an Issaquah Buzz. I don't know if you're weeks now on the job, so thanks for joining me.
I think 12 days.
12 days, yeah, who's counting? Yeah. All right, so before I just want to share some things about Salmon Days with you because this will be your first Salmon Days. But before we get to that, let's just go through a little bit of retail gossip.
Okay.
So first one that I wanted to cover, it's called herringbone sage. And so I was actually just shopping in Gilman Village with my daughter and stopped in my tracks. Anytime I see a opening soon sign, I'm the nerd that's not taking photos to remember it for Issaquah Buzz. So anyway, I saw a coming soon sign. It's at the old Recology storefront in Gilman Village, for those that remember the old location. It's kind of near, it's called the E&A Boutique. That's where I like to shop. So it's nearby that. But this is a men's clothing, actually luxury Italian clothing line. And I did some sleuthing online. The owner has a really impressive career in men's fashion. And this is just something I think that a lot of people will be excited about. There's not a lot of options for men's clothing, especially luxury clothing in Issaquah. So I think it'll be a nice addition for folks who are shopping in Gilman Village, which is unique in and of itself. Have you heard about Gilman Village yet, or have you visited?
I have. So last night, I took some time to actually stroll through a lot of the shops.
Oh, yeah.
On my way home from work. I had driven by several times.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed all the unique features and all the uniqueness of the shops that were there. It's very charming. I mean, I one of my favorites was the Lucky Homes.
Yes.
Because I'm going to be outfitting at my new apartment here soon.
Yeah.
I was very interested in some of the furniture they had in there, but I was really impressed with all the different things that were available.
Yeah, it's a great place to go shopping for yourself or if you need a gift. And clothing, too. I've bought a lot of clothing at several shops, so I'm excited to check out what this new offering is for men's clothing, too. So they have just opened. Their grand opening was September 27th, so everybody can now check it out. The next is Burgermaster, which I feel like is a standing item that we bring up here at Issaquah Buzz.
Sounds delicious.
Yes, it is delicious. We'll have to go for lunch, actually, because they do have a food truck open on site as they're working on construction. This has been just heavily anticipated in our community as the opening of the full restaurant of Burgermaster. I think we've talked about this a bit before in the Buzz, but you actually can now start to see it happen. But it used to be a restaurant called Triple X, and in the back they had actual the old school drive up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with your car, and you can eat in your car.
Stands.
Yeah, and so that used to be the case many years ago, decades ago in Issaquah. That was all kind of closed up, and as they've been opening and actually working on the remodeling, they have found some of that old infrastructure they're preserving now to make it more of a drive up again, which is a very classic Burgermaster setup, is eating in your car. So now as you drive through the back of Burgermaster to go to the front and wait in line for their food truck, you can kind of see that's happening. But construction's moving along. They're working on all the things that take time. So electrical, plumbing, roofing. They had a post on social recently that just said that they're hoping now to open by early 2026 for those that are checking. And there'll be a few times where their food truck is closing, which has caused a lot of questions and concern on social. This is a very big deal to Issaquah, Burgermaster. So oftentimes they're having to close just for some construction-related things, but they're posting on social media for those that were wondering in the last week or two. But I'm really excited for this drive-in area to come to life here in the future. So I'm sure you haven't visited yet. We'll have to go for lunch. But there's also just a really fun team behind Burgermaster, too, that has been really thankful for the city's support. And I think we're really excited to welcome them fully once they open in 2026.
Nice. I'll be excited to meet them and continue to support them as we move through.
Yeah. One thing we had mentioned in the last buzz, something called the Sand Garden. I had never heard of this before, but my kids are a bit older now. And so, but this is kind of a new thing. It's indoor sand play areas. And so one just opened on Gilman, actually. And so I had mentioned it in the last buzz, but now it's actually open for those who are interested, which is perfect timing. The rain has kind of started, so we're saying goodbye to summer. It's perfect for families who are looking for a place indoor for their kids to play. They have over 1,400 square feet of indoor sandbox play space, which is a lot. So they have 2 sandboxes, and I had not mentioned this yet, but it's for children of ages 0 all the way up to 10. So that's a pretty good age range. So excited just to walk by and like see what that looks like inside.
I hope they have some like big Tonka trucks in there to like,
dig
and kids can play with and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they'll have a lot of toys is what I've seen in the pictures. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. So I also added this too. This came through my inbox last week, but this is kind of in related to tourism news. But Lake Sammamish State Park, which I always knew was a really regional attraction, but they were rated 6th among all the top tourist attractions in the Puget Sound by the Puget Sound Business Journal, which is a local paper that covers our area. Top spots were like Pike Place Market, which I'm sure you've heard of, and the Waterfront Park and T-Mobile Park, really big regional attractions. And 6th was a park here in Issaquah, which is just amazing to me, just how wide-reaching that is. So they had a stat, too, which blew my mind. 2.15 million people visited in 2024.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so I think it just reiterates, too, how much our outdoor spaces and areas are a regional attraction. And that's why a lot of people are visiting Issaquah.
It's truly amazing that Sammamish can be ranked at those city landmarks that are really iconic.
Yes.
But also iconic in Washington is outdoor recreation. And so it makes sense that Issaquah is the top of the list for for all those opportunities that we have in the community.
Yeah, it's very much our brand in many ways. So as we're talking about the state park, just also a total side note, but the Sunset Beach Playground, which is a really nice playground that's right, you can see the water and see the beach from the playground. It was just restored. So check it out also if you have small kids, but it just looks great. Everything is just sparkling. And there's also some really cool outdoor shelters that were recently built that I had not seen yet. And as I was hanging out at the park this summer, was just amazed by the beauty of both the areas where you can like plan your parties or you can bring your kids or just hang out at the beach. So I can see why millions of people are coming to the state park every year. Okay, so speaking of millions of people coming to Issaquah, not quite millions, but Salmon Days is this weekend. Are you ready?
I think so. I've heard so much about it. I'm really kind of excited.
Yeah, this is probably like my 4th meeting or like, thing on my calendar today to talk about Salmon Days. Salmon Days is a huge deal here in Issaquah. So close to 250,000 people will ascend upon Issaquah this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. This is a festival that celebrates the return of salmon to our creeks and waterways. And it's something that our community's been doing since 1970.
Wow.
So huge tradition of many generations that are celebrating the return of salmon. It's hosted by our Greater Chamber of Commerce, or Greater Issaquah Chamber of Commerce. The theme this year that they've picked is called Spontastic. And the motto is celebrating our home stream heroes, which kind of has a Mariners vibe to me this year, but that's probably because I have baseball on the mind. So this festival always kicks off at 10 a.m. on Saturday with a parade. That's very much like a hometown parade. So I'm excited to see my kids actually march in the parade, and you'll see just a whole lot of different pockets of our community all participating. And then after the parade is when the festival really starts. So I would recommend, and I know this will be your first time, so as someone that's a newbie, I'd recommend checking out the parade. And then soon after, there are like 200 booths that line our downtown that are full of all sorts of arts and crafts and things that you can buy.
I was looking at the vendor list on the Chamber's website earlier today, and I was really excited about some of them.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And I mean, so there's been many years I've been to Salmon Days. And so my technique is to always go check everything out on Saturday, process it. And then maybe go back on Sunday and start buying.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is so much to see. So I like to check out the booths early in the festival and just see what is there and what's new and different, or things that have been, returning from past years. There's also something called the Field of Fun, which is right behind City Hall, or kind of close to our senior center on Memorial Field. A lot of stuff for kids to do there. It's a good place to just take a break if you need it for your kids in the intensity of the festival. And there's also something called Dock Dogs. Have you seen any pictures of this yet?
That's top of my list of things to do. I just love it when like dogs do agility courses, but the dock jumping and how happy they get to get in the water. They're just so enthused all the time. I just can't wait to see that.
So unique and cool to see.
Yeah.
Has become definitely a tradition. It's amazing to think through there's a lot of logistics to Salmon Days, but I always am like, wow, like somebody had to fill this pool in preparation for the Dock Dogs, among many other things happening at Salmon Days. But that's at the field too, so make sure to stop by. And then if you guys are at Field of Fun, also come on over to the city's booth. So we're on the other side of City Hall. Actually, I think you may be at the booth for a period. I know I will be, so hoping that our listeners and viewers can stop by and say hi. So our booth will always include a way that you can take a photo with Sasquatch. And we've been doing this for so many years now, where we'll take these photos, we post them on Facebook, on the city's account. People can download them. But we've had families that come back year after year and just have saved all of their photos over the years of them celebrating Salmon Days with Sasquatch. It's really fun. And then our police officers are going to be in our booth as well, and they're selling patches that have they're called pink patches. And so all the proceeds for this special design go to supporting families who are facing childhood cancer. And so that's also been quite a tradition where people come by year after year and purchase the special pink patches from our police department. So that's really
awesome.
Yeah. It's also a fun feature. There are 2 stages of music to check out. One's at the community center and one is north at Memorial Field. They've got a lineup of music pretty much all day, both days. So that's also something to view. And then, of course, you cannot forget the star of the show, and that is actually seeing salmon in our waterways. Have you gone by yet to look?
I've gone by, but they weren't quite like ready to be coming in yet, I don't think. So I'm really looking forward to seeing them all gathered together, doing their thing.
It's so definitely seeing the fish at the hatchery is a highlight. If it looks too crowded or it's too intense, there are other areas in Issaquah to also view salmon. Oftentimes, if I just need a break from all the intensity of Salmon Days, hanging out at Confluence Park is really a great way to also see the salmon over the bridge, and just like have a moment maybe in nature after being among thousands and thousands of people. And of course, there's a lot of food and drink that you'll have to consider as part of your visit. So make sure to come hungry. And first stop will probably be going to Gibson Hall, where our local Kiwanis does a salmon bake every year. And they actually have it over like an open flame. So it's like really smoky, yummy salmon. So that has also been a tradition for decades as a fundraiser for our Kiwanis Club. There's also just a ton of booths everywhere for all sorts of types of food. So it's, again, maybe do the option of like check everything out and then kind of assess where you want to eat.
Well, so what I noticed on the Chamber's website is that they have all the booth numbers. If you click on the vendor, they have all the booth numbers and where you can find them. And there was a donut stand that I was particularly interested in. So I will be finding that one for sure. But their website's a great resource, and I am looking very much forward to all the food that comes with it.
Yeah. The other thing, it's not Salmon Days for me too without a Bohm's ice cream dipped chocolate bar. And I have not looked at the map yet. Usually they're at Front and Sunset. I haven't checked this year if that's their same location, but they have a big sign that says Bohm's. It's a local chocolate shop here in Issaquah, but there's those ice cream bars. Like that is always my reward after a long day at Salmon Days, is to treat myself to one of those. One thing I did want to mention too that's important is there's a lot to see as far as booths and food vendors, but a lot of our local businesses are also still open at Salmon Days too. So make sure to check out businesses along Front Street. A lot of them have deals and special things going on too during Salmon Days. So we always like to remind visitors and just community members that our local businesses are open too during all of the fun. So How are you going to get here to Salmon Days?
Well, since I'll be coming from so far away, I'm going to be driving.
Yeah.
And thankfully, there's going to be lots of options for parking that are fundraisers for local organizations.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. There's most places that are ready to sell you a parking spot is for a good cause around town.
Yeah.
So a lot of PTAs, this is their fundraiser, or scout troops. I know it like locally at IVE, there's going to be one, but there's plenty. And Salmon Days has a map on their website of all of those paid parking that is a partner with Salmon Days. So check that out. Know that your money is going to a good cause, along with finding some easy parking to walk into the festival. There's also going to be a shuttle through King County Metro, thankfully, from the Issaquah Transit Center right into the Salmon Days area. And so if you want to park at the Transit Center too, that's an easy way just to take the shuttle in and out. And if you're walking some too, this is just another plug that check out some of our open spaces or other areas where you can see some fish and also just have a minute to decompress finally after an exciting day at Salmon Days. So I cannot wait to hear your impressions. What a way to onboard is to start with Salmon Days. And I'm excited to see you there and see what you think.
I think it's a great introduction to the community and
Yeah.
community culture. So
Oh, totally.
I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. This is a very exciting time of year. So, so in lieu of a business spotlight this month, we have some sights and scenes from previous Salmon Days to really get us excited. So let's check that out. A wrap on our latest edition of Issaquah Buzz. You made it.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited you're here and you'll be serving our community. We're just so appreciative. And thank you, too, to all of our listeners. So join us next time to hear more business news on Buzz. If you have any gossip or questions you'd like us to track down, send us an email at ed@issaquahwa.gov. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, guys.